Welcome to another podcast episode. I'm tired though.
Yeah, this is the sleepy podcast.
The sleepy podcast. Why are we tired? Well, we are 13 days into back to school?
Mm-hmm. If you really count like the back to school rush, but we've been planning for back to school for months, so summer is all busy.
Oh man, it's our 5th back to school. I'm also reminded that we have also a summer full of like kid stuff with the kids, our kids too. So it's not like we have the summer off and then we're planning for back to school. But back to school's on. Mm-hmm. Thank you for everybody who's supporting us for 5th year in renewing your licenses, trying us out, and also sort of giving us some great feedback if we're not your choice. And that's okay. Like, you know, we know we want to be part of the solution, but whatever is best for your family is what you got to choose. And we try to give you as many reasons as possible to see if we're the fit. Mm-hmm. And I think the product has really evolved from last back to school to this back to school.
Oh, for sure.
But how are some of the customer calls? You know, I always love hearing
really
your
good
feedback on what they're walking into with expectation and what happens.
Yeah, I love the customer calls. Most of them have been people who are brand new to homeschooling, or they've been homeschooling for a while, but they've just hit like a transition period, because sometimes something works for a while, then your kids have some sort of growth spurt, and all of a sudden nothing works again, and you have to start all over, right? So, and a lot of people trying to transition from fully offline learning to some online learning. I've heard a lot of parents lately say, you know, that they know their kids need digital literacy for the future, like for their future jobs. There's no scenario where they won't be using a computer.
That's it.
So they're sort of like, they've always been offline, but they're tentatively venturing into adding some online. And I think that's where we're a nice fit, because it's a blended program. So the biggest fear for most parents is like, I don't want my kids staring at a computer screen for 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which, fair, none of us want that.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Because we say, and I'm talking to all the parents, including me, you know, when it comes to education, it's like, oh, I don't want my kids to be online for 6 hours on computer screen. Mm-hmm. But then we let them be online for 6 hours on
my kids are literally
TikTok,
online for like 15
on Snap,
hours.
on whatever IG, whether it's Roblox, Fortnite. Mm-hmm. And it's just funny that how we've decided this is bad screen time, but this is like your screen time, so I got free time. As a parent, so I'm like, cool, play Roblox for 2 hours because I need to chill, take a nap, wash my hair, watch a movie, like whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's always interesting when I hear parents are like, I don't want to stare at 6 hours. We're not advocating for more screen time for anybody. In fact, I'm trying to go to a flip phone, get rid of all my smart devices, and the only way to get in touch with us is if you know our phone number. And if you don't know our phone number, we don't know each other. I'm trying to get there in life personally.
Downgrading.
You know, but what are some of the other concerns that, especially first-timers, right? Like that's something that you speak about passionately. How do we help first-time homeschooling parents get into the scene?
Yeah, and I mean, like talking about the whole 6 hours of screen time, it's a big question with new homeschoolers is how long should we be homeschooling in a day? And we have this like idea from public school that this is like a 9 to 4 or 9 to 8 to 3 or whatever, that this is like a full day endeavor just because school is a full day. But homeschooling does not take that long. Even if you're fully online, you're still looking at like an hour. If your kids are sort of that like K to 2, we say 30 to 90 minutes. And then your upper grades, grade 7, 8, and high school is like maybe 3 hours a day to do everything. So it takes a lot less time than people realize. And that's more of the like one-on-one, the tailored approach, the like, if you're done your work, you can move on to the next thing rather than waiting for a bell to ring. And it just speeds up the whole process. So that really surprises most people.
Yeah, no, and you know, I think, who was it? My buddy Jay that was here a couple of weeks ago. He was doing the same thing. He's like, I don't want to homeschool because I don't know what to do for the whole day. Mm-hmm. Like, who does that, you know, for a whole day? Like, that would be almost abusive to the child to be like, you got to study.
Well, that's our conception from public school. Like, we think that our kids are learning at school from 9 to 3. they're not. Like, there's tons of wasted time in school. Not just, I don't mean wasted like in a bad sense, but it's like between transitions. So you need like 5 to 10 minutes to transition from different things. And then just the model where the teacher's going to deliver a lesson, use a smartboard or whatever, and then the kids are going to work, and the teacher's going to sort of rotate through and help where needed, versus when it's just your one kid, like, you don't need to deliver a lecture. You can do a short lesson, or you can just start on the work together and like explain it as you go. It's more like if you think of what traditionally tutoring, like a teacher and a student, just like, this is what we're going to work on, and when we're done, we're done. It takes so much less time.
Yeah. Yo, do you think with all the AI this, AI that, AI that, AI this, that the one category, which is kind of a pipeline if school doesn't do a good job, is tutoring? Think that'll disappear?
Maybe. I would like to see tutoring disappear. Tutoring, like, we talk about like the shadow that for success, where it's like we pretend public school will prepare every kid equally, but it won't. And then tutoring is so expensive that we now have this like shadow system where kids of the higher socioeconomic bracket can be successwe'll. But if public school can't make every student successful on its own, and this shadow system is required, now we've made it economics based on who gets a complete full education where they can go to post-secondary or get in the career they want. If tutoring is required to be successful, then it should be part of the public system. And I think there's enough AI out there, and as it gets better, that it'll replace that tutoring system at a more affordable price.
What else, man? We got the micro schools cooking.
Yes, micro schools are on fire. Like, there's even just from last year to this year, there's so many more of them. There's so much more interest. We have so much more outreach.
Yeah.
You can just feel the movement building, and it's awesome. It's so cool because it like gives that homeschool vibe, because it's small class sizes and really like tailored, personalized learning. But for parents who work and can't homeschool, it gives them that option to sort of have the homeschool experience through a private setting. And
the couple of micro schools that you onboarded this week, curious for other micro schools that are thinking about us, like, what made them think about Schoolio, and what is it that ultimately they're like, yeah, I want this to be something my students use?
I think every micro school I've talked to this week is supporting neurodivergent learners. That's still like consistently the students that the school is the least well fitted.
Yeah.
So they seem to be like the number one population who are leaving the school system and need alternatives. So a lot of people like that it's neurodivergent friendly. Whether some of them that I've talked to are schools specifically for neurodivergent students. Others are just like general schools, but they know that a lot of their students are neurodivergent, so they're looking for that. And then just the ability for them to open up their dashboard, have all their students, and then make each student their own personal journey. So it's not like lesson planning for a class. It's like road mapping this one student. Like this student will really like the course on bees and honey, but this student will really like the course on like bridges and structures.
Yeah.
And really like tailoring that for each student, and that being an easy flow to do.
That's awesome. I think a lot of the product decisions we make comes from customers who trust us to dive in, and then instead of leaving when something doesn't fit, see if there's something we can build. And that's basically how we built this company, isn't it? I've been doing startups for all my life, and some of the best companies don't build everything. They build enough to get into the market, and then the version of the company we are today should be very different than the vision we had 3 years ago. Because then we actually have customers, and customers tell us what they're willing to pay for and what their real problems are, and that's what we're listening to you guys. And so, take advantage of like reaching out to Lindsey, reaching out to me, messaging us through Facebook. I think we have an incredible customer service team, so shout out to our team that's ready and always willing to to chat with somebody, but this is how we grow and expand. Our next newest innovation is a teacher planning tool. So Schoolio's teacher planning tool is coming out. We're hoping to release it in the next couple of days, actually. And this is really targeting teachers. And the biggest pain point we heard from teachers is, I don't have the time or know where to go get credible resources for planning not only my first semester, but my whole year, which is why, they're building curriculum as they go along, because they have to figure out what to do. Now, you were a teacher. You are a teacher. You were a teacher. How much of that pain resonates now as we're solving it?
Oh, yeah. You have to design most of your own stuff yourself, or you have to pay for it if you're going to like some other platform or some other creator. So it can get very costly very fast, or it's your time. It's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you hours, and the planning time you get in your teacher day is like nothing. It's like 45 minutes or something like that. So really, you have to have everything done beforehand, and then that in-class planning time is just like set up essentially. Yeah. So you're doing a lot of lesson planning, unit planning.
Yeah. So the link is below, SchoolioTPT.com, Schoolio Teacher Planning Tool. If you're interested, or if you know a teacher and you want to gift them a license for a year so that they get their time back to hang out with you, we'll take that. We're also starting to really work on our foundation. Every single day we hear from at least a handful of families who really want to use Schoolio, but they just can't afford it. And we've been trying to find different models where our foundation can work with local businesses and corporations to fund licensing, looking for folks that are in more of the creative field, athletes, singers, songwriters, musicians, who understand the impact of having the space to be creative, something that you don't get in school. Maybe they would fund some licenses, but we're really working on, can we find a model where everybody can afford it? And if you can't afford it, we have partners that can potentially subsidize some of it, all of it, short amount of time, something so that, we hate turning away parents who really need it for their kids. So we're going to keep working on that. We also now have a person making phone calls. We've never had that before. Shout out to Ramsey. And so this is, again, our continued investment in customer service, customer outbound, inbound. I know a lot of you want to talk to somebody, and we just weren't set up to receive phone calls. But now we're training somebody who can receive phone calls. So if you're panicking, you're not sure, if you're stuck or something is broken, there'll be somebody to take your phone call. A real human, not an AI chat human thing. And
so many people think we're AI in the live chat as well.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. In terms of the next batch of sort of product release, is there anything coming down the pipeline you want to share?
Content, the All About Video Games unit it's available in the bookstore as PDF, and it's been in production. So that'll be releasing on digital soon, and the kids are loving that course. So it's a social studies course, so it starts with like the history of gaming. I had a lot of fun with my 16-year-old, showing him like the old consoles and having him guess the year that they were created. And he was put the Atari. He was like, "That looks like it's from the 1800s."
How dare he!
It's like, that looks like it was on the Titanic. But yeah, so that's really fun. And then it sort of goes into genres, all the genres of games, and we do a deep dive on Minecraft and Mario Odyssey and Stardew Valley and a few others, I think. But if your kids are gamers and they play those games, then the activities actually relate to the games as well. So that one is highly anticipated. I know there's lots of customers patiently waiting for it. Thank you for being patient while we produce it. And then I guess the other thing we're starting to look into is high school.
Yeah, that's an expensive venture, only because it's everything has to be accredited, and so we're working on it. We hope that by 2026 back to school season, we could have a few grades that we can now offer, even if it's transition from 8 to 9 and 10. for next year, and then we keep adding on, grades. We might even do a crowdfunding just to see if people want to invest in it so we can cover the cost. I mean, listen, the tech is already built. The two biggest costs is hiring more educators so that we can create the content, and two, the license we need to act as a high school, so we can actually give report cards that are accredited, transcripts that have value, and things like that. And so it's in the pipeline. Our vision in the next 5 years is to go right from kindergarten all the way to post high school, into trades. I think it'll be a beautiful sort of ecosystem for a child to sort of stay with us that long. And I think the trades is the future. I think that's where the next batch of millionaires are going to come from, if not already. And as more and more white collar job gets changed into AI jobs, what we're going to be really missing is folks that know how to work with their hands, the plumbers, the architects, the construction folks, the mechanics, like things that we've sort of discounted or ignored because we weren't white collar. Business is all coming back.
And I think a lot of people want to teach, even if, like, we want those as life skills. So even if your child doesn't want to be a plumber, like, we should all know how to fix our own toilet.
Yeah.
So we don't always have to call a plumber and all that sort of stuff. And I think that high school courses are going to segue beautifully into adult learning, because anything you're putting in front of an 11th or 12th grader is all beginner. So if it's like a photography course or something like that, it's just as open to adults as the kids. So then parents can be learning right alongside their kids.
Yeah, 100%. So let's close off today's session with three things. One, if you are a current subscriber or in the trial process of considering us, please do reach out for a one-on-one appointment with Lindsey and the team, because we can help in 10 minutes show you so much that you might not know. So we're open for one-on-one bookings. Number two, I want to talk a little bit more about the non-academic life skills stuff that parents should be considering, especially as you're planning your back to school this year. Yes, we'll provide you all the math, language, science needed, and we talk about the interest-based stuff, but we have such an amazing library of future readiness, especially around thoughts and feelings in SCL, which I think we still don't see enough parents adding to their marketplace. So how important is that for this year when parents are considering a well-rounded model?
Yeah, I mean, social emotional learning has had some misconceptions about what it is, but there's some really big studies released over the last couple of years that show that the number one indicator of success in adulthood, and they measured success as finances and happiness, was emotional intelligence. Not your IQ, not how smart you are, not what courses you take, not how much money you make. It's your emotional intelligence. And there was another study that showed that 90% of people who had career derailment was due to low EQ. So we're talking about your social skills with other people, relating to other people, but as well as emotional regulation, stress and anger management, even executive functioning, time management, task initiation, all of that sort of stuff is so important. And most parents I talk to, when we talk about SEL, they say I wished I had learned that. The two things that parents tell me the most often they wish they had been taught is financial literacy and emotional intelligence, because we can all see how valuable that is to us too if we had learned it.
100%.
So it's the age old, everyone's I don't ever use calculus, but it would have been nice to be taught how to do my taxes in high school, right? Or how to structure a mortgage, or how credit cards work.
Yeah. And it's good. I mean, we're starting to see some traces of it, where I think a recent order came in where somebody ordered grade 1 to grade 8 financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and SEL. And I'm like, I love you, whoever you are, because you're looking at all the things that we consider outlier curriculum, which I think is really the real curriculum. And so it's in your marketplace already. It's part of your $40 or annual subscription. We have a great sale going on right now. It's 50% off annual for digital and up to 30% off all the books. So stock up what you need. And again, with the Schoolio books, you're not stuck with one grade purchase. You can mix and match units across all the grades, so you have the perfect amount of content you need for now with the budget you have now. You can always add to it later. And so do consider checking that out. And then if you need anything from Lindsey or I, please do reach out and have a conversation. And then every now and then somebody's like, we saw you guys on TikTok, we saw you on LinkedIn, we saw you on Facebook. It feels
really
good.
famous.
People are actually seeing us, and this is just not us talking into a camera and throwing it on social media. So for all of you that watch it, just leave a little comment or some kind of an emoji, just so we know that it mattered.
We're not speaking into the void. Yeah.
Any last words before we sign off?
You said there were 3 things, and that was 2.
The third was the thank you for watching our videos.
Oh, okay, my bad.
See? I weaved. I can't talk about weave. It's trademark Donald Trump. He does the weave, so I don't want to do the weave.
Okay.
We start somewhere, we go somewhere. Now we're rambling. We'll see you guys next time.